the refs. Okay, obviously your interaction there with the White Cat, I don't know. He's saying, and maybe he's getting information in there, and you obviously can't say anything. Joey Bosa came out last night and actually said that a ref was blind, had to be blind. I have no idea how that happened. Said that publicly. He's going to get fined for that. You can't say that. You're the reigning MVP of the NFL. How do you think we fix the officiating thing? And is it a problem that needs to be fixed in your eyes, in your interactions with these refs?
I don't think so. I think it's a really tough job, first and foremost. I think it is a really tough job. I think we can help them, but we need more people in that conversation on what the best way to do it is. Right now, there's a rules committee, right? And that's made up of owners, and then they give the recommendations down. And I think there maybe needs to be some more players involved. The biggest problem, in my opinion, I think most people can agree with this. If we think about some of the best refs from the last couple of decades, right? And I'm obviously slightly biased, but the majority of them are on TV, right? I'm talking about, Gene Steratore is on TV, and Terry McAuley's on TV, and who's the guy from last night who's on the
John
EST?
Perry.
John Perry, Dean Blandino, Mike Pereira. These are guys who are really, really, really talented referees, but they're getting paid more on TV than they would by the league. So we're hurting ourselves, I think, as a league by not having the best of the best who move on still be associated in a way where New York has to rule on some of these plays, and we're not going back to the best of the best. I think the last couple, guys that we've had in that position, we're not anywhere near as talented as the guys that I just mentioned. But the issue is TV's paying these guys a lot more than the league does. So if the league wants to clear things up, maybe taking these stud reps who have moved on and retired and putting them in a position of influence that can clean up some of the mistakes that are made. And it's not a lot of mistakes, but one or two, in important times, that's when the conversation gets amped up and everybody's talking about this thing. I don't believe we have a referee problem. I love the fact that there is, the human element in it. But in ways that we can help them with those bang-bang calls and those important reviews, I think it's important that we have the best of the best in the booth making those, aiding with those decisions.
I think Gene Steratore has offered more money and less stress. And same with Blandino, Pereira, John Perry. Hey, we'll double your income. And also, you don't have to worry about getting booed out of a fucking stadium anymore. You'll actually get cheered whenever you come on and say, these refs are wrong, actually. I don't know how you turn that. You're right. I don't know how they stop doing that. I would do it every single time. Sorry, AJ, go ahead.
Well, what can they do other than just raising their salary? I know Pat and I had talked about that earlier, I think last week. But yeah, if you make the salary bigger, there's going to be a bigger pool that want to become officials. But would you do anything with technology or anything? Like, what could you add?
I mean, it's tough because you don't really want to go down the route of being able to adjust subjective calls. They tried to do a little bit with pass interference, and it became kind of a fiasco because it was like, what is the determining factor? How much contact is enough contact, or how much is not enough contact to either pick up a flag or throw a flag? It's tough with those some more subjective calls. There are objective calls, but still, I think the majority of the calls that happen in a game are subjective calls. They're, it's holding. What is holding? I think it can get into the subjective realm, play to play. Interference, illegal contact. Block in the back. Some of these calls, not as
taunting. God, this is the worst.
Yeah, I mean and that's coming from the rules committee that doesn't involve players having recommendations on it. It's the same thing when they changed all the off-season stuff, and you have these lawyers who wouldn't allow us to use a football for the first 2 weeks of camp. And it's like, who wrote this stuff? I mean, who is sitting there going, okay, first 2 weeks, no footballs. So we're at football practice. Yeah. And we can't use a football. No. Okay, so then what do we do?
You act like you have football.
Well, if we let you use a football, then people are going to abuse it. And everything has to be crystal clear in this disclosure agreement. Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, We're still playing football, though, right? Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're a kicker or punter, you can go over to a high school and actually use one of their fields. But we're not going to insure you injury-wise if you go over there and hurt yourself. Oh, it makes sense. Perfect sense, yeah.
I remember thinking, oh, so this place that has a net, security, equipment managers that can help me get better, I'm not allowed to kick here for 2 weeks. I have to go to a high school that has probably no net, not that I need security, but potential other people on the field and everything like that, because that benefits me. That's good for me? Yeah, it's good for all players. It's good for you, you're a player. That's good for you. Oh, okay. That makes fucking sense. All right, I'm not coming for the first 2 weeks. I'm gonna be somewhere. I'm gonna be somewhere else kicking balls. I guess there's a lot of those. That's when the legalese get involved, when there's a human element involved. You know what I mean? And that's everything in this world, not just the NFL. By the way, we're dealing with that everywhere else that we go into business with. And what's the worst thing that could potentially happen or has happened before that has potentially fucked somebody over in the past? Okay, well that has to be a part of the contract now. Well, now you're also taking out like the day-to-day. Hey, I'll do this because we have a good deal. Shit, it's a different time in the world. Aaron, you know, you got to be here now, though. You got to be here now.
You're right, man. I'm so glad you read that book too. That's really meaningful to me. You're becoming such a reader.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is the first book I've ever heard of that is a fucking calendar, though. You know what I mean? Like, you got to turn this son bitch sideways.
It's a picture book, man. It's an easy read. You only have to read like, you know, a few dense pages. Everything else is beautiful artwork.
Is that English? What is that?
Well, that's interesting because it is a couple of these, and I have enjoyed his writings, by the way. Shout out to Ram Dass. I have enjoyed the hell out of his writings. It's kind of like those 3D photos, you know, where there's a bunch of things on it. You cross your eyes and then like something pops up. A couple of these pages, you got to do that to find the words that are being hidden by like goats and donkeys and shit. So it has been a little bit of that. You know what I mean? You have to kind of close your eyes. But the messaging is amazing. And we'll get to the Aaron Rodgers book club here in a little bit.